So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Today is April 11, 2025, and we will have our group study session in Billy's book, The Way to Live. And before that, we have to say our affirmation in Tagalog first and then in German. On ikapitong makadiwang pagtuturo sa panalangin ni Nicodemion, isang pakikiugnayang sa sarili nilikha ng huling henok. Sa pamamagitan ng kalakasan ng aking kamalayan, sa aking katalinuhan at sa aking pangangatwiran, ginagamit ko ng buong lakas sa aking kaalaman, kapantasan, sa aking kakayahan, sa aking pag-ibig at katotohanan. Tanging ang kalakasan ko lamang ang lumaghanap sa akin, gayunpaman walang ibang lakas. Palagi ang sanang maging mulat ako sa aking sariling mga kaisipan at damdamin, at inilalahad ko at ginagamit ang aking kaalaman, aking karunungan at ang aking kakayahan. At dito ko aakayin ang lahat sa totoong pag-ibig, kalayaan, pagkakaisa at sa kapayapaan mula sa aking sarili. Ang kapangyarihan ng aking kamalayan ay hindi lingid sa akin, kaya ginagamit ko ito sa aking sariling kagalingan para sa aking mga kaisipan at damdamin, ang aking kalooban, gayon din sa aking pangangatawan. Sa araw-araw ay ilahad sa akin ang paggamit ng lakas ng kamalayan upang ito ay patuloy na gumana sa akin at hayaan akong harapin ng mga bagay na hindi ko pa natututunan, kung saan pinangangalagaan aking karunungan at ang aking kapantasan sa pagmamahal, pagsalat para sa iba, pati na rin sa pag-unawa at katwiran. Sa pamagitan ng kalakasan ng aking kamalayan, kinikilala ko ang aking pagkakamali at nalulutas ito at iwasan pang gumawang muli, kaya't walang anupamang mga pagkakamali ang makahadlang sa aking pagunlad at pagsulong. Ang kapangyarihan ng aking kamalayan ay kayang kilalanin at iwasan ng mga maling aral, maling paraan ng pag-iisip at mga panganib mula sa pagkakandili sa isang paniniwala, pati na rin ang mapanganib na material at mga makamundong bagay. Sa pamamagitan ng kalakasan ng aking kamalayan, ako mismo ay may hawak ng aking sariling katalinuhan at pangangatwiran, at sa pamamagitan ng buong lakas ng aking kamalayan, sa lahat ng oras ay palagi ang mulat sa aking kapangyarihan, sa aking kakayahan, sa aking kapayapaan at sa karunungan, pati na rin ang aking kapantasan, pag-ibig at pagkakasundo na aking pinanghahawakan. Namumuhay ako sa pag-ibig, namumuhay ako sa kapayapaan, namumuhay ako sa kalayaan, namumuhay ako sa pagkakasundo, namumuhay ako sa kagaanan, namumuhay ako sa kalusugan, at namumuhay ako sa kagalakan. Ako nawa.
Okay. So this is the German version of that prayer, the third version of the Notabene prayer in German, followed by 7 affirmations. This is otherwise known as Emmanuel's Prayer or the Lord's Prayer, Our Father, in the Christian religion on which this prayer is based. The original Emmanuel's Prayer. Mein Geist, der du bist in Alma, dein Name sei geheiligt. Dein Reich inkarniere sich in mir. Deine Kraft entfalte sich in mir auf Erden und in den Himmel. Mein tägliches Brot gib mir heute, so ich erkenne meine Schuld und ich erkenne die Wahrheit. Und führe mich nicht in Versuchung und Verwirrung, sondern erlöse mich vom Irrtum. Denn dein ist das Reich in mir und die Kraft und das Wissen in Ewigkeit. Ich lebe in Liebe, Love. Ich lebe in Frieden, Peace. Ich lebe in Freiheit, Freedom. Ich lebe in Harmonie. Ich lebe unbeschwert als unfettered. Ich lebe in Gesundheit. I live in health. Ich lebe in Freude. I live in joy. Okay.
Yeah. And so be it. Okay. Good morning again. Good afternoon and good evening to everyone. Welcome to our fellow students from North to South Hemisphere. Zor and Cynthia from America, me from Canada, and then Richie from Middle East, June Sarmiento, and who else in the Philippines? Yeah, yes, and Piccolo. Who are? May I know? Where are you? Are you in the Philippines?
No, no, I'm in New York, New Jersey. It's
Ah,
Eric.
Piccolo. You are.
From
Okay.
East Coast.
Okay.
An
Hello.
East Coaster. Welcome.
Who is our speaker, and then Wei from Taiwan. Yeah, and that's all. Maybe more are coming. Okay. Okay. Our speaker for today is Eric Magus. He introduced himself as a Black Native American, Polynesian ethnicity, and half Samoan. Yeah. And so maybe Eric, you can introduce yourself, how you came, uh, to discover these teachings. Yeah. Go.
Okay, well,
Your turn.
I first discovered Billy from a TV show called Strange Universe in like 1997, and it was an episode about a man who was in contact with extraterrestrials, but the difference was that he had a teaching, and a teaching for a better way to live. And so I was still in high school, but I said to myself, I said, I'm going to find that man one day. I'm going to find him and I'm going to learn his teaching. So fast forward around 2002, 2003, I, George Greenland, I think his name was one of the people that used to work with Meyer, Billy, had stolen his teaching and created a fake version of the Talmud Emmanuel online. And that is what led me to Figu, because he kept mentioning Billy like they were friends. And I went to the website, and then I was stuck from there. That's how I became familiar with the teaching in Billy in 2002, 2003. Yeah. I'm part of the Figu USA Student Group. I went to see Billy last year. It was my first time meeting Billy. I met him with Helen. We went to see Billy last year together, and that was my first time actually meeting him. I met him every day I worked. I went there. It was hard labor, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, question. So, Eric, is Piccolo your like
my nickname?
Nickname? Oh, that's so cute.
You did
I'm glad I met you.
Your Piccolo.
Yeah, they got that from the Dragon Ball Z Piccolo, because I was the only one always meditating and stuff. So they were like, "Oh, you're like Piccolo from the." And I used to play video games, so we used to play video games and watch anime. So that's where they got that from.
From what? What the anime?
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z.
The Green Man Piccolo. He was always
Yeah,
meditating.
they're Nemicans. Nemicans.
The
Ah,
dynamic, yes,
isn't Piccolo an
I'm the
instrument?
Saiyan.
Isn't
yeah,
that an instrument too? Piccolo?
it's an instrument
Hmm.
too. It's a flute, a
Yeah, it's
type of
like a
flute.
little flute, like a flute
Yeah.
within. Cool. Oh, there's
Mm.
Renz. Hi, Renz.
Hello. Oh,
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okie dokie. So, are you gonna share your screen? Are you the one presenting today?
Not that
Who's
I know of.
who's presenting?
The way to live.
Oh, the way.
yeah. I think Eric want to say read her his article.
Oh, I could read a little piece of my article. I was writing an
Yeah,
article for
and
a
then we just go
newsletter.
to the
It's short and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. The sevenfold nature of health. Contrary to popular beliefs, or better stated, unbeknownst to many, health is also a multifaceted evolutionary based state of being. If you take into consideration the knowledge as far as what's been presented within the ancient teachings of Nocodamian, which has been further developed and extended by our teacher, Billy Edward Albert Meyer, you would come to understand that our major problems stem from an exclusion of the proper education of our consciousness, more so our creation energy consciousness. We rather see more focused on materialism and material consciousness development. Without understanding it is very important to definitely make sure our daily needs are met, such as friends, food, the body health, and the body beauty, and to a degree, as well as our mental health development. But it is also via mental health that is imperative that we also take time to feed the consciousness with good books and entertainment that give food for thought. Just as the sun has various forms of the creation cosmic electromagnetic energies that feed the life force, it is the use of these sources via the thinking that encourage, so to speak, or draw in more creational energy, life forces, which can extend our lifetime. The original time span of life was 964 to 10,089 years, whereas our teenagers' years are spent mostly up into the 70s and 80s. But due to a recent genetic code manipulation, our life has been reduced. Scientifically, it has been proven that religious thinking is a detrimental influence on the thinking of a person to such a degree that it lowers the life expectancy and atrophies the pineal gland and leads to forms of Alzheimer's and dementia. This is also due to the lack of use of the powers of consciousness that would otherwise be a cause for more creation energy for the capacity of thinking, which in turn would rejuvenate the personality via the might of the thoughts. That's just the beginning of it. I didn't finish it yet.
Oh, that is very logical. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be in the newsletter, right?
Yes.
The USA Figu newsletter from the East Coast with David Hurlbert and you guys.
Yes.
Yes, wonderful.
And if anybody, you guys can send any articles if you want to put an article in there too.
Or access the website. Maybe you could put the link to your website in the chat so that people can go. You can go and check it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes.
Yeah, we're so delighted you're here.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, Tita Helen, do you want to continue reading or you want to do questionings or what?
Okay, I will start reading, and then the first 4 stanzas, and then or Eric himself can read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he get the book, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Where are we at?
269, page 2.
Okay. In his or her thinking, The wise human being never goes beyond his or her own capacity for imagination. He is also reserved in his or her speech, but distinguishes him or herself with his or her right actions. Shall I continue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
Stanza 270.
verse 3. Mhm.
Say it again.
Maybe
Read
the
the.
first 3 stanzas.
Okay. It ought not to concern any human being if the others do not know him or her, but it ought to concern every human being if he or she does not know himself or herself. Stanza 271. Unright cannot be repaid with unright. Rather, every unright ought to be responded to with correctness. Should I continue? Is that good?
Yes. Mhm.
One ought not to grumble about one's destiny, because the destiny smith is each human being himself or herself. And one ought not to grumble about the human beings, because they are not objects of one's own agonizing inadequacy. And therefore one ought not to grumble about the course of the life, because everyone forms his or her life's way, himself, herself. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Especially when now that you think about how self-responsible we are.
So, can you elaborate more the stanza 269, please?
269.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, a wise human being normally knows his or her limits. And also, you watch what you say. You always have forethought when you say certain things. You don't just blurt out the first thing that comes to your mouth. You always consider how you're speaking to a person, and you know better than what would hurt that person. As opposed, and you're not quick to hurt somebody. You always be responsible with how you speak and think and act towards other people. Just the basic respect of a human being from one to another.
Yeah, thank you. And also 270.
Well, the teaching is overall is about knowledge of self. Everything is about your own self-reflection, self-discipline, and self-understanding. So if nobody knows you, that's not a big deal, but it's better to understand and know yourself. That's why we're here now, because people, if you understand, some of the teaching shows that, a lot of our accusations of other people, we're actually guilty of, which goes to show you really don't know yourself.
Yeah. Very true.
As ironic as that is.
Yeah. And then 271.
Oh, naturally. What's the saying? 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Correct.
2 wrongs do not make a right. It just makes it worse. Or what they say, you can't fight fire with fire. Essentially, when you call somebody out on their wrongdoings with correctness, even though you have to use a little aggression sometimes, you might have to use a little aggression sometimes. You have to call them out on their own with facts and knowledge, as opposed to just slander and giving them what they give you. I can't accuse you accusing me. I can't return it with accusing you. I just have to state the facts of what the problem really is. And 272. Well, once we understand the might of our thoughts create our destiny, and with that we build our own life ourselves. So we are responsible for how we handle and create our own life. And grumbling is essentially silly because you did it yourself.
Mm.
If you made the soup and you don't like the taste of the soup, you made that soup.
Mhm.
Do it over, make it better, fix it up. That's your responsibility, not anybody else's. So why are you grumbling about what you made anyway?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Nice. Mhm. Yeah, and nice. That's very nice. So if there is no question, we can go ahead.
I'll continue reading.
Yeah, 273.
Okay. If a human being's principles are to be furthered, then he or she determines that just as much as he or she does if they go to ruin. Because in his or her self-responsibility, every human being determines his or her thinking, acting, and life. If a human being nurtures and follows the recommendations of the decency, then the fellow human beings are willing to be of service and they give him or her respect.
Mhm.
If a human being wants to become good and wise, then he or she has to learn to gather and to follow truth and knowledge, to nurture his or her further self-development and deferential prudence, and to give the fellow human beings calmness, peace, and love.
Yeah. What do you mean by differential prudence?
It's basically, you're not rude.
Mm-hmm.
You're not quick to anger. You're not that person that when somebody sees you, they run away. You're the person that brings peace to the conversation, peace to the environment. Your vibe is calming, relaxing, and loving.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that one person that comes around. It's like, oh man, I gotta go because
Mm-hmm.
their whole vibration is negative and bullish and pig-headed. It's always about them.
Yeah. So, any questions from 273 to and 274? Maybe you can elaborate more, 273 and 274, please.
Okay, well, the self-responsibility, similar to what I was saying earlier, you determine how far you can go as far as your evolution, and if you do mess up, that's something you can learn from, and that's up to you to fix and make better from there on.
Mm-hmm.
That's all your thinking and your acting. Self-acceptance, basically. Self-responsibility, or what's the word? Accountability. Accountability for everything you do and say.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who doesn't love somebody who's respectful and decent and honorable.
Mm.
Nobody wants to be around the argumentative nag. So we all want to be most of us, when we go to the center, we want to be around somebody like Billy, where you can speak and you know what I mean? You have respect. And he's up to his service brings that love enough because you respect his knowledge and his humanity, him being a true human being, showing us the right way to go.
Yeah, for example, if you want to fix things and the other person do not want to cooperate, so what are you going to do? You have the honest intention to fix, but he doesn't want. So in my point of view, I stay away, which doesn't go with the one that you said that we should not go away. We should have uh fix things,
Right.
Is it right to go away if the person doesn't want to cooperate?
Yeah. Essentially, if that's, you have to take up the responsibility and do what you can do. And if the person is not cooperative, essentially, yeah, you're better off going distancing yourself. Even Billy distances himself from people that are sporadic and a little wild.
Okay.
That come to visit the center. He's not always going to be, especially if you have like wild thinking and you're a little, off. He definitely keeps himself distant.
Okay.
So just taking that into example. If he's got to go, then you got to go too sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome, Ray. Welcome
Hello,
to.
Ray.
Yeah. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening to.
Yeah. Is there any question more?
I guess I raised my hand, so we raise our hand, right? If I have any question.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, just a reminder, because sometimes some people think of Billy and try to put him on a pedestal like he's like some saint or something, right? But
Right.
you have to, if you remember in the contact notes, that guy that happened to be there and I guess got on board the ship, and then they even visited someone, and then they thought they were like angels or something like that. But at one point, this guy was, I guess, unruly, and he had to, I don't know if he had to box him or something to just
Yeah.
to let to come to his senses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he had to hit him
Yeah,
in the
and
head.
then
Wake up. Yeah.
yes, and then remember, like the affirmations that we have. It's important to maintain like you live in harmony. All those things are not just words. You have to actually live them
You
in
have to
order to
actually
be
live
able
them.
to. Yeah, you have to in a way guard your joy, right? Ich lebe
Yes.
in Freude.
Yes.
Your joy, and you don't want to be burdened. You live unburdened, unbeschwert. I mean, all those things. I live in love. I live in harmony, freedom. Peace. So those are the things that will help elevate your life and your consciousness, so that you're evolving in a balance in the right way. And so, just be mindful that actually we're all one, and
Yeah.
whatever we do to advance ourselves evolution wise in the right way, because you could go the opposite way. If there's any ausartungan, whether it's positive or negative, you have to balance it. Otherwise, because as you evolve, creation evolves through you. So whatever you do for yourself, that's why it behooves you to really know yourself, and then
Yeah.
that way you can also lift up others by knowing yourself. And when you align yourself with the truth, then you become powerful, because then your knowledge is based on your power will be based on knowledge as opposed to beliefs. And you can speak with authority on your lived experiences, and the truths that you can give from that perspective will do a lot to wake up the same thing in others. So okay, that's my
Well
thoughts
said.
on that.
Yeah. Cynthia, were you there last year? That was you last year?
Yeah, I was there.
That was you, right? You were there,
With
right?
Cheryl,
We
with
did the
Cheryl
meditation, right?
Gusukuma. With
Yeah.
Cheryl Gusukuma, we stayed at the Freihof.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I even almost died afterwards, I
Oh,
need to say,
no.
because I got bitten by those bugs going through the forest after the meditation. And then it was only on the plane going back that I started to get chills. And I had to be in the
Oh,
hospital for 3 days for IV
oh,
antibiotics because of sepsis from those bites. But anyway,
oh,
I
wow.
survived that, and I'm turning my life around, focusing on the temple of my spirit here. So I've joined the gym, and I've changed my lifestyle, and I'm trying to be more active and swimming and every day. So that's what I'm doing with my wife. It's the best investment
Great.
because I think, yeah, there was unbalance. I mean to say, I was focusing more on the mind,
Yes,
but neglecting my body. So I
yes,
have to
yeah,
balance
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We
Yes.
do that a lot too, like just get into one thing and forget the other. Yeah.
Yeah. There's all aspects of your life.
All
It's like
aspects.
juggling balls. You don't want to drop the ball. You have to at
No,
least get all your mind, your body, and your creational
everything.
energy. Yeah. So try to balance those three balls, and hopefully you'll be balanced in your evolution. That's all I
Yes.
can say. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, question. Yeah, back to my question earlier. I question that we should distance if the other person do not cooperate. But how about if you yourself is the one who get hurt and you want to go away? So would it be, and to consider that we are studying the creational teaching, so is it right to distance yourself, and how long, especially if it's the family?
I would think that's circumstantial. We're not martyrs, so it's no need to keep putting yourself in any kind of danger or abuse that you don't need to, you don't need to endure. Even if it's family, you don't need to put yourself through any kind of punishment. Sometimes you need to step away and let people figure it out on their own. For the most part, I could say for me, I learned that the hard way. Basically, I got stabbed trying to be helping somebody else, and my intuition was going off. It kept saying, remove yourself from. But I was so hell bent on trying to help somebody, I ended up getting hurt. You know what I mean? So self preservation is definitely important.
See, but sometimes religion really that mindset that could be affecting us. It could also be affecting us on a subconscious level because
The martyr,
these
that
things are
martyr.
DNA. Yes, the DNA thing. It's just, there has to be balance. You have the right to preserve your life. And
Definitely, definitely,
yeah,
definitely true.
and one I guess thing that I've learned, which I think will go a long way, are even just everyday things. Okay, this is just an example of why it's imperative to embrace the truth at all times, because then that's the only thing that will set you free. For example, okay, everyday thing. Okay, so your wife's cooking dinner, like in my case, because I have a wife, and then I mean, and then she'll ask if I like what she cooked, right? And then I will have to say honestly, but fine if this is, to be honest. And why? And it's not because, because if you're okay in your mind, you're thinking, that old saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You could say good thing. Okay, if you're saying, oh no, oh, it's delicious, this and that, like that. And then you know what that's gonna what's gonna happen.
They're gonna keep feeding
So
you that.
that's right. And who? So you're gonna be hoisted by your own petard or something. I'm saying, so you have to be honest. You just have to say, it's okay, but and so that she'll know that when you actually praise it, that it's for real. It's not fake. Don't don't
Yes.
don't do that saying that, okay, you don't want to hurt her, this and that and that. You're gonna end up hurting yourself when you do that. So I said, no, I'll tell her, I'm sorry, honey, I don't like it. It's too oily, or it's this and that. I like it dry. I like the ribs dry and this and that. I don't like them oily or something. Don't add this and that. Yeah. So anyway, that's just a practical approach to being happy and and content, so that you don't blame anybody. And that's the main thing. Don't have a victim mentality. When you start feeling that someone's wrong to you, then you have to really look at that, because you are really the one that's in control of your life. And the only way you can do that is by practicing every day. And when you see the cause and effect, that it really works, and you can be completely honest about it, and then that way you can analyze and be accountable for what happens in your life. Because be mindful of your thoughts, because
Yeah.
it's energy, they're things, they become, you attract the environment, that
Awesome
your
things.
environment's affected. Like whether it's luck, we create our own luck. It is one of the earlier
Mhm.
contact notes, and the
Yes.
only thing that keeps us from reaching heights of all the possibilities is our mentality, our thoughts. So you really, it's like a garden. You have to do constant weeding, so that you hopefully can grow things that are beneficial to you, that bear fruit, useful things, whether the fruits or vegetables, something that's good for your creational energy.
Mm.
That's my contribution.
Mhm. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and one more thing also is the couple, husband and wife relationship, that sometimes you cannot avoid to argue with each other, and then
Yeah.
right, and the other one think also he's right, and then it became worse, and then you decided, as me as a wife, I decided to be quiet, just to avoid the conversation. And sometimes men do not understand, do not respect your being quiet, and the more they get flared up, men,
Why are you not saying anything? Why
I,
are you not speaking? Yeah.
mm. So you are forced to make up with him. Otherwise, the the relationship will get worse, and is so insistent talking to you while you are very quiet, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
But the good way to look at that, though, is that your partner provides you with ample, abundant opportunities to
Oh,
use the spiritual
To
teachings.
learn. It really,
okay.
It's like an express lane.
it
And then,
really is.
yeah,
It really is.
yeah.
It
So
really
that's
is.
how you should think about it. And then, so patience, that's the way I think about it. Oh, I said, you really helped me, learn all of these teachings. Thank you very much. That's what I say. And then he can do things joyfully, because it's
Yeah.
true, it's
Take the
true.
sting out of it. Take the sting out of it. The way it's not
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, that's how you say that. Be grateful that you have the chance to. This is like, because everything could be theory, but what matters also is practical. The practical, like in nursing, you could read all the books and stuff like that, but then what you're really great at, how do you apply all those theories and teaching actually into something that is, the experience is what. That's why the nurses that are experienced, it becomes like, they are able to develop a sixth sense on
Yes.
because knowing that, because you have that experience, you know what to do. And then it becomes like an automatic thing, because you already know, you already know the progression, you already know what needs to be done to halt, so that it doesn't get into worse condition. Strike the balance that will hopefully lead to better health. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So how about Ray, JS? Any comment or any question? Way and Zor.
That's right. We can share all our pearls here, because
Yes.
we can appreciate
Everybody
the
has.
pearls. Her pearls of wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever my wife says shall be done.
That's right.
Good.
Happy wife, happy life, ha.
Good for her. Her.
I am the master of the house, but she's the king.
Yeah, happy wife.
Yeah, acceptance always is the best.
Uh,
That's a human way of doing things, and you will live happily together with your wife and your husband, of course. If you accept things that you married her, you married him, and that's the way it is. Otherwise, if you will not accept on how things are being done by her or him, then something is wrong. And of course, once you're settled, it will take around 5 years. As I have been saying, I am sorry, Piccolo. Piccolo, your name, right?
Yes, yes.
There is a word here, a name of asawa. It means wife. Asawa is wife.
mm,
Asawa for the first year is asawa. The word asawa is a 5-letter word. On the first year, you tell her she is your asawa. It's a 5 word. And then the next year, letter A is gone. It means sawa. In English, it is you're already help me here.
or a little bit
Ah.
bored or what?
Yeah, bored already.
Bored.
And then the next year,
Or tired,
S.
tired. Sawa.
Yeah. The next year,
Oh,
S
wow.
is gone.
Mm,
It's awa.
awa.
Means
It means
pity.
pity.
Yeah.
Pity. Then next year, A is gone. Wa. It means
No more.
gone.
Gone.
No
Tot-
more. And
Is
then
it
the next year, on the fourth year, is W is gone. It means there is an A. No, it's the left one. The last one is A. It means hanap na iba.
Or
No, it
away
doesn't mean
na,
like
away.
that. It's away na. It means always
Fighting.
quarreling. So if you accept those things, that if you have accepted that your wife is really like that, and your life with your wife is like that, then you can easily adjust yourself. Accept everything. Accept that it will be your life, that she is your wife for the whole time of your life. And then if you will always be quarreling with each other, well, after 5 years of being together, it's just like you are brother and sister, even on sex sometimes. It's just like sometimes you quarrel, but you love each other, still love each
Yeah.
other. It's like your brother and sister. You have a lot of quarrel with if you experience with your brother and sister, or with your brothers, you quarrel a lot, but your blood is your blood. He is
Yeah.
your blood. It's just like when you are already together for 5 years or more than 5 years or 10 years, it appears to be just like she is your blood already. You have adapted with each other. And you can get out. And unless, of course, if something's happened and both of you is really doing a lot of things that is, both of you are working separately, and then the other guy is the other one is doing some silly things, then it will happen. The separation will happen. But if you don't do like that, if you don't experience like kind of it, and then you work, you live and accept the saying that I have said, that the master, that whatever she says shall be done.
Mhm.
You accept it, and then I am the master, but she is the king. Accepting it, that's it. And then you will live happily for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is of course the weaknesses of your wives or even your husbands. Acceptance, it's always, even if she does not know how to cook food, accept it. Then buy
Yeah.
something outside, because you can change her. You can change your husband or your wife to be good in cooking. You have courted her or him. You have courted her for a long time, and then you know that she doesn't know how to cook, but because of love, and you married her, and you have to accept it. And then,
Yeah.
of course, you have to learn. You have to learn. You have to learn things that will change your life, adjust your life
Yeah.
in order to improve and evolve. And that is our attitude. That is the instructions that is being provided to us by the innermost nature, by our creational energy, that we have to adapt, we have to evolve. You have to evolve even in your family life. You have to improve. You have to learn. You have to adjust to your wife. You have to accept first. Acceptance first. You have to persevere and be persistent and
Yeah.
hopeful
Yeah.
that someday she will change. But of course, if it will not happen, then you are already attached to her, you could not leave her, then accept it. Acceptance is the best. So that's my thoughts about uh, about living a good life. Acceptance. Even
Yeah.
in your work. In your work, there are chances that you can uh, there are chances that you can there is an opportunity, because in work it's different. You can retire your people, and even you can leave the company. You can make a lot of things on how your company be prosperous, thinking that one holds it. Then how will you do it? Of course, you have to do things. There are procedures. There are laws on how you can remove a person from your employment, from being your employee. So there are a lot of things that you have, and you have to be creative. That's the reason why you have an impulse to become creative. You have an impulse from your innermost nature to be utilized to be connected from your inner nature to the innermost nature. Impulses is being provided to you to become creative on how you resolve a certain problem. And once you have resolved it, then that's it. That is an additional wisdom for you
Yeah.
to be an added wisdom for the next reincarnation. That is an additional wisdom that you will help to the other person or other personality that you will. That's the way on how I think, on how I
Yeah.
live, on how I make my business, how I get employed. So there are a
Yeah.
lot of things there are a lot of problems that you have to be encountered. And those problems are part of your life. And that
Yeah.
makes you evolve. If you
Yeah.
think your problems, the errors, the mistakes that you have will let you down, no. It will let you learn more. And if
Yeah.
you handle it properly, well, you can be more prosperous, because the knowledge and the wisdom you have learned will be your experience. And your experience for improving, to evolve, to become more prosperous materially, and even your creation and energy or spiritually, that will improve your life.
Yeah.
And of course, the rebirth or the other the knowledge, the wisdom that is you are providing on the of course the creation and energy, or on the uh, our block, no? The consciousness block for the person that will, or the personality uh, that will receive our wisdom. So that's my thoughts about my life. I think that we should not be afraid for us to die, because we will be not reborn, but our creation and energy will again be utilized with the other personality, and you have to improve, you have to evolve for them to be utilized through the impulses, no? Coming from your wisdom that you have gained in your life now. Of course, it will take 100 years but before you can be, or probably 50 years, that your knowledge will be utilized by them. And that's my thinking, no? And I am not afraid. And of course, all of you must not be afraid of dying, no? And there is a difference of I have seen, I have read the way to live, no? There are death, dying, consciousness. What's that? There are 7, I think, no? The levels of evolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, well, that's how I think it. Even I am now 63 years old, I am still studying,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that is an evolution. That's part of evolution, and you have to help others because you still have an effective and very efficient and can be utilized brains and knowledge and wisdoms and thoughts. You still have to study. I'm thinking of even of studying to continue my study of law. No, I have started for 1.5 years already, and I only need 2.5 years more. And I'm presently doing my PhD. So that is life. Even if you are already 63 years old and I am reversing it, I am only 36 years old. And thinking of it, it will help your life. It will help invigorate and evolve your life more and your brain more efficient, utilize. Otherwise, if you will retire at the age of 60 or 65, what will you do at home? You will be thinking always of your body, of your something is happening with your stomach, or something is happening with your blood pressures, and it might have thoughts. It will
Yes.
continuously happen. That's my thoughts about my. Sorry to give you a long, a long thoughts, a long sermon of what I am thinking of. I am supposed to do for my life.
Yeah, you don't need to
Yeah.
apologize because those are
No, it was
gifts that
good.
you're
Thank you.
sharing. Yeah, that's the whole idea here, is so that we can remember by sharing what we know or what we've lived, you know. I think that's what's important about this. I mean, you could study the books by yourself, but it's really, you're opening your world like a kaleidoscope when you involve other people, because you only have one perspective, and then you wanna. It's like a smorgasbord. You hear other people's experiences, and then they'll help trigger also your impulses and your memories. You know, they say something, they said, "Oh yeah, then I remember this, I remember that." So
Mm-hmm.
that's how we share, and that's how we learn, you know. It's like a more bountiful. It's like we bring a potluck party, then it's, you know, everybody brings something to the table. Everybody has gifts to share and gifts to give. That's the way we should look at it, you know, so that we can all learn and we could all evolve together. And this is like an I-we unit, actually,
Yes.
what we have here. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, synergy.
Yeah.
We're creating
Yes.
greater
Thank you. Thank you,
energy and
Cynthia.
synergy. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I always
My
welcome.
my
Yeah.
Yeah. My goal, my zeal is to live a life of to 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
90 years old, I
Wow.
am still probably similar with Enrile.
Yeah,
Still working,
yeah.
and I have a good. Still, my memory is there, and that's a zeal. And you can always think of it because the mind of thoughts is working always.
Yeah, me
Always.
Yes.
too.
So
Me
you have to
too.
goal,
Mm-hmm.
you
I,
have to make a
Yes.
zeal, and you have to do things in between those at from 63 years old up to 90 or 100 years old, and then you have to do things so that what your the micro thoughts is every day you have to do things in order to attain the goal in between. So doing things like in neutral, positive, and equalized thoughts, and that will help you. Otherwise, if you don't think and then you stop thinking already because you're already retired and saying that I am already 63, I am already 70 years old, and you stop it, then of course you say it to yourself and it will happen.
Mhm.
I'm
That's right.
every day every day I do my exercise, 30 minutes jogging in a certain place in my jogging, and that's of course you will not just think but always have to act.
Mhm.
Think,
Yeah,
act, and
yeah.
create. Think, act, and create.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what Billy says. You have to think using your micro thoughts, and of course, you have to do what you have thought of. And then once you have thought of, you have to create things on how will your life be more productive,
Mhm.
evolutive, and improve.
Constructive. Mhm.
Fully utilize everything.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it will, if you say that, okay, I will stop my work, I will stop working. I just want to be happy and at home and doing things. That's not the way on how Billy says, on how we human being has to do, has to be a part of a human being on earth. We have to evolve. As long as your mind is still working, you have to help communicate. We have to help make improvement, evolve inventions. No? It's our utilize your innermost nature, your creational energy in you, because it is a part of you that says you have to create things, you have to evolve, improve things. Otherwise, the word neutral, positive, the positive word is not anymore. What's Billy says positive is to improve further and then neutralize first and then uh, improve by positive thinking and then equalized by neutralizing all the errors, equalizing all the errors, solving all the errors, solving all the mistakes, and again go up to a higher level, neutral, positive, and equalized thoughts again. That is my thought of my life and continuously evolving as one human being, as one creation energy that has been provided to us.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
my thoughts. Again,
Yeah, thank you, Ray,
Thank
and let's
you.
welcome Sister Rebecca and Delbs. Thanks for coming.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we can proceed to stanza 276 if there are no questions.
Or sharings.
Any more? Yeah. Okay. 276. Yeah, you can proceed, Eric.
A
Eric,
good for
maybe your
nothing.
phone is there. There you go. Okay.
A good for nothing is a human being who is submissive and affects nothing which would be worth mentioning in a good sense, and who lives to old age without using rationality and intelligence for the forming of life's way and for the learning of truth and knowledge. Many a human being likes to put himself or herself in the place of a real human being and goes around with him or her shoulder to shoulder, however, without being a true human being himself and herself. Because truthfully, many of this kind cultivate their actions only as illusion.
Mm.
You all know that one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then 278.
The human being ought to be sincere and honest in his or her words, and be honorable and prudent in his or her deeds, so that he or she can look himself and herself in the eye and have the esteem of the fellow human being.
Yeah.
What you kind of like what you were saying earlier about working with somebody who does good work. You'd rather be with somebody who'll help you, be honorable, and be good at what they do, as opposed to somebody who just is lazy and doesn't want to do anything. Continue.
Yeah.
Okay. May the human being forbid himself or herself the singing of his or her own praises, and keep himself and herself free of hollow prattle, because self-praise is slovenly and blabbermouths are dangerous.
Mm.
Yeah. People do that for self-praise. That's just for show.
Yeah, there are 3 words there that's very hard to. I have to Google its
Slovenly,
meaning. Yeah, hollow prattle, slovenly, and blabbermouth. Yeah.
blabbermouth. We know what a blabbermouth is. Somebody just talks. They can't keep their mouth shut. They always like to gossip, to talk about everybody, talk about everything. You can't even tell them your deepest secrets.
Oh, okay.
Prattle is just like talking, gossip,
Mm.
That type of thing.
Marites in the Philippines.
Yeah.
There we go.
You know that? You know that, Marites?
No, I don't know that one, but
A gossiper.
gossiper, yes. Just talk to talk. They like to hear themselves talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so 276 to 278, I think we have discussed it already in the previous stanza. And
Yes.
if there is any question, then we can proceed to 280. So anyone who have a question in mind, you are welcome.
I just want to highlight about the submissiveness. Hello?
We hear you.
Yeah, about the submissiveness. We discussed this in the previous session. There's a difference between submissiveness and modesty, because usually submissiveness and humbleness, they sometimes go hand to hand together. So what Billy is trying to say, that this sense also of humbleness and submissiveness is like human beings are trying to surrender their dignity, will, some form of authority when they try to apply the submissiveness and humbleness in the wrong sense. For example, in the religious context, people on those religious authorities, the followers, they don't dare question the teachings and instructions of these religious people, because deep in their hearts they should be submissive to the religious authority and blind obedience to the teachings, because upon questioning those faulty teachings, uh, it amounts to like disobedience to the supreme being. So there's a default setting imposed to the followers that whatever you do, if you question the authority, you are questioning your faith, your loyalty to the supreme being. So what option is left for the followers is to humble yourself and be submissive to the religious authority. So this robs the human being the capacity to think and logically assess the teaching, if it is faulty or fantasy. So what Billy also tells us, even though we have this creational energy teaching and the way to live, all these books, he's not asking us to believe. He's asking us to try to criticize it, to dissect it, and try to live with it, and what effect it has on you. It is aligning with the truth, and you yourself has to discover this is the truth. So this is the good thing about really is trying to open us. Don't be submissive on this creational energy teaching. Don't be humble or with the previous religious things that these leaders are doing. Criticize it, the teaching. Don't believe. Criticize, study, understand, dissect, and whatever juice you can get out of it, you apply it to your life. If you found this aligning to the nature or to the truth, then be happy that you found it. So
Yes.
that's my point on the line that says don't be in submission or submissive.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Richie.
Thanks, Richie. That's what I was saying earlier. Definitely, they definitely work on your submissiveness. They want you to be stupid, really.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
You could take
As
advantage. You
long,
could take full
as long
advantage.
as we have the respect and in a modest way, yeah, yeah, which is
Yeah.
hard, you know.
We in the Philippines, uh, during our young age, when the when our parents says don't don't respond, be quiet, just follow. Ate Helen, no?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
that's right.
uh, the parents would say, they say, oh, I have been there for a long time, and you have to sa Tagalog, wag ka na sasagot, no? Don't respond. I am older than you.
Mm.
So that is one of the problem with the Filipinos,
That is
and
a
that's the reason
big
why
problem.
we sometimes we are so obedient.
Timid.
We are so
Image,
submissive.
yeah.
We're so timid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially with the religion. Especially with the religion. When the priest says, uh, go to the church and pray,
And
we're
contribute.
so submissive, and we do it. And it's all being supported by our parents. So
Mm.
without thinking of now, it seems that there are a lot there are a lot of already some development, and people are no longer submissive to their parents, and in a negative way. That's one of the problem. And of course, it's a sometimes it is a positive positive for the for our culture, but sometimes it's negative. But of
Yeah.
course, it depends on the rationality and logical thinking of the person who 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 who, uh, who is defying the culture of the Filipinos.
Mm.
Yeah. But to compare, Ray, to compare the values and how we discipline our children. I think it's also brings more positive than negative result. Yeah, because when the children grew up and they are exposed to freedom of speech, they will still remember what their parents said and what their parents plant in their mind.
Mm.
That's a mixture of the modern and the old belief. So I would rather be a Filipino next life. Yeah.
One concern that we have on the culture is the manupo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started with the priest, and now it is at the same time being done to the parent. So it becomes manupo is a submissive attitude. When you see a priest, in the Philippines, when you see a priest, you have to what do you call that in English, Ate Cynthia? You have to bless.
Yeah.
Genuflect.
Get the
No.
hands,
Right.
and then put it in the
On
forehead,
the forehead.
and then
with the
sometimes
holy water.
Yeah.
yeah, and sometimes for the for
The
some
bishop,
cultures is
bishop of Turin.
you have to kiss the
The ring,
the
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 hand.
Turin.
the
Yeah.
hand.
It is the ring of
That's one way of being a submissive, and it's not supposed to be, especially for us. We are rational persons, rational human being. We are not supposed to do that, and I have started it in my family.
Mm.
Although, of course, I was born with my parents. When I see my auntie, my mother before when she lives, and my father, I have to. Of course, it's the culture that the others may say, "Oh, this son is not a good son because he's not." He's not
Making less.
submissive to his parents. No? But for me, on my son and my daughter, I did not ask them to perform such kind of culture, such kind of attitude, because it's really too much submissive. And uh, I agree that at the age of when they are already they have to do by their own, and we have to do it by our own at the same time. But of course, there must be a respect. Respect, but not on the on the way on how they perform, on how they're so submissive. Just like when you see a priest, you have to kiss the hands, you have to kiss the ring.
Oh,
It's really very we are similarly being created. We are similarly a creation, and it is our responsibility to teach them on how to become a good creation, to evolve a good life. And that's my thoughts, and that's the reason why I did not transfer the culture, give it to my to my uh, to my kids on that type of a culture.
Mm.
okay.
Sometimes.
Let's
Oh,
welcome first Francis.
okay.
Francis, welcome and good evening. Thank you for joining.
Good evening po. Ito nag-aalaga ng bata.
Okay. Fine. Thank
Ngayon
you.
ko lang ngayon ko lang nakita po. Pasensya na po.
Oh, okay.
Thank you po.
Yeah. It's fine.
I wanted to add something to that, the culture and stuff, because it's also a matter of perspective. You could put a spin on that another way, like it may be that you're not kowtowing to stuff like that, but it could also, like, for example, in our culture, we honor, like, honorifics. It's like a deference, because we value wisdom, I think, especially in our elders. And so, like, for example, in the, they call it like in my case, being the eldest, I'm called ate, and go down through the your I guess you're standing within the family. And yeah, so that's the way I see it. And yeah, you could look at it in like a different ways, like a respect for elders, which is something which is I love in our culture. And then so that's why it's also ingrained in us that it's not just a nuclear family. We still have our elderly folks part of the family, until such a time. Then if they are unable to care for themselves, then we care for them too. So that's the way our society is structured. It's not like you're not like disposable once you're no longer in use, and then they're discarded. And that's not how it is in how we like to care for one another in the culture, or bayanihan spirit, things like that. Uh, you know. Anyway, that's just my thought. It all depends on how things are. The dynamics can affect how you perceive things. So why do they call you ate or auntie or something like that? Well, anyway, so that's, you just have to, I guess, be mindful and respectful of how other cultures see themselves, or how they like to be treated.
Yeah. Unlike here in the Western world, that they call always first name to their uncles and aunties, and
Mhm.
even to grandparents, they call it in first name.
Mhm.
Yeah, and also to boss, to bosses, to higher position in the company, they call first name. It's not unlike us that we call them Mr. Reyes, Mr. Magus, or Mr. Susara, Miss Susara, like that. We always
Mhm.
have the Miss and Mr. And when I go to Ireland and I work there, no Mister, no Miss, and then the children calls their grandparents in their first name. So I am surprised, really.
That'd be
So
shocking.
yeah, you know what? Yeah, and it's part of the teaching that there is the so-called honor your father and your mother, and maybe the elders also. You can honor them, you know yeah, and that is our practice in the Philippines. Yeah, honor your father and mother and elders especially. Yeah. Yeah.
Elders means the strongest blood.
Mm-hmm.
If you are the strongest blood, it means the eldest, the son of the eldest of the brothers. So
Mhm.
you're the kuya. No? If you're
Mhm.
the eldest of the family, the son will be the eldest, will be the strongest blood. So the strongest blood are supposed to do things hard, so that when your brothers and sisters, or the teens, your uh can borrow money without paying it.
Mhm.
And that's one of the responsibility of the oldest and the strongest blood. It means the highest of all the family. That's one of the problem here in the Philippines. So we have to educate them that they have to do it by themselves. But of course, because you're the kuya or the eldest, then you have to of course help them, especially those who are under you
Yeah, and the honor, I learned
financially.
from creational teachings that honor is different from praise. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, honor means respect, and the word difference, you call it difference. difference, honor, and respect. So it doesn't include praise, you know. Yeah.
In addition,
Yeah.
because here in the Philippines is always a problem. I always say to my those who are my cousins, um, and I always teach them that they're always borrowing money without paying. But of course, I have to teach them on how to do it by just simply saying, in my own point of view and my own thoughts, that give them a fish and he lives for a day, teach them how to fish, and he lives for a lifetime. And that is my motto, and that's what I am doing to them. But sometimes it's always a big problem with your cousins. They always ask for.
Help.
I give them. They always ask for help, and it's really a big problem with here in the Philippines, and it's that we have to do a lot of course educating our friends, our own selves as well.
Kuya Ray, I have a similar quote for that thing that you just said. It's from the atheist quote. It says, "If you give a man a fish, he will live for a day. Give him religion, and he'll starve to death while praying for the fish."
Right.
You see that? That's good. Can you send it to me? I will not
I will
remember
send
it.
it in the group. Yeah. Okay, no
Thank
worries.
you. Thank you, Richie. Wow. I like it. Kaya lang, the only problem is that you cannot do it to your friends who are really submissive to religions. You will be quoted as a what you call it, an atheist.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Okay,
continue.
let's continue. 287. Is it?
278.
278.
Oh, okay. 278. No, we have finished that. Maybe 280.
Yeah, 280.
Yeah. Go
Even
ahead. Yeah.
even things which are far away must be taken into consideration by the human being. If he or she does not want to fall victim to grief in the immediate proximity. That's similar to what we were talking about. Like, I think it was Rich was saying, like you consider now so you can have a better life next time. Almost like you pay it forward. You make sure you're good for the future. You think about your future, your evolution now, your thinking now.
Yeah. Right.
If a human being lives according to the principle of values, demanding very much of himself, herself, however, only little of others, then he or she hardly ever gets into the situation of earning displeasure with his or her demands.
Yeah.
Like you were saying earlier, Helen.
Yeah.
You rely on yourself heavily. If somebody doesn't want to do, you're not really going to be concerned with somebody else not doing, because you can do it yourself. A real human being thinks that the straightforwardness is absolutely necessary with everything, and he or she brings it to fruition according to the recommendations of the rightness and the decency in order to complete it in total sincerity. Definitely going back to what Cynthia was saying, you got to be honest. Like, you can tell her that her food is good, but if her food is bad, you're going to just you have to keep dealing with that. The righteous human being searches
It's
for
really
all.
hard. It's sorry.
Go ahead.
It's really hard to be honest. Completely.
Yeah, because you don't want to hurt people's feelings. You really don't.
Yeah, that's right. It's
You really
really
don't.
hard. You have to say something. Uh, you have to say
Nicely.
something good, nice. So you
Yeah.
have to sugarcoat it.
Sometimes that doesn't even work. You're just like, oh, you just got to be out with it.
Especially the person that you are saying is that he is a straightforward or she is a straightforward, and you're just sugarcoating what you are saying.
Right.
Oh, to help the medicine go down.
It helps the benefit.
A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Mary Poppins theory of work there. Yeah, sometimes you have to do what you can when to convey the truth in a way that is not meant it all depends on your intention. It's not meant to hurt them, but it's meant to be honest. And then, because how can you have meaningful conversations if you can't really speak the truth and be honest? So it all really also begins with your own relationship with yourself. Really, you have to understand, everybody has different needs. We're like different flowers, like some can go without, like be a desert flower. You don't really need so much water or tending. Some plants don't even need water. They just need air, or they get moisture from the air. So we all have different needs in order to thrive to the best. Like we need ideal conditions to flourish, and that comes out of knowing yourself. That's why it's so important to know yourself. Then you could take care of your own needs. You don't have to depend on others for that. Like anyway. So that's something that has to be confronted. And like, I'm just going to share, like, for example, when it comes to, like, for example, libido, for example, I mean, you might have a different level or preferences for what gives you the jollies, I mean, but all of that has to come with really understanding yourself, your body, your needs. I can speak this way because I'm a nurse, so for me it's normal. You see the whole spectrum of like humanity, even at work when I was working at Kaiser. So it all depends, and there shouldn't be any judgments in that way, because people's needs are different, and that's just it. So you just have to acknowledge that some people, it makes them happy to be with both or just one, or it all depends. Because actually, when you think about it, we're actually energy, but we're just in material form. And it all depends. You could even be born with both genitals. I mean, that's just nature. That's a life and stuff like that. And it doesn't mean it's wrong, but there's a purpose for everything that happens. You get, even in nature, like you even have fishes that change sex and stuff depending on it. No, it's just so full of possibilities and endless wonders. And so anyway, that's how you need to approach things. And you just really need to know yourself, and that way you can take care also of your own needs, because and not have to put that on other people to be responsible for, to be happy. So anyway, that's what I'm discovering.
And
For
also,
me, Ate Helen, go.
yeah, and also being straightforward is not a culture. It's not a Filipino culture. we are not. It's only now that we learn to be straightforward, and the combination of being righteous, decency, and sincerity must be present by being straightforward. Otherwise, the straightforwardness will become, selfish. You want only your your the motive
Your
is
way.
selfish. Yeah, the motive is selfish by being straightforward, and then the result will be you can hurt somebody if you are straightforward with a motive of selfishness. So the combination again is righteousness, decency, and sincerity, and that is what Eric is emphasizing, that we should know ourselves first. Okay, thank you.
White lies. Is it okay? For us, for a Filipino, for us, sorry, for us, Filipinos, there are two types of white lies. I will say it in Tagalog. I hope Cynthia and Ate Helen can say it in English.
Mm.
Kasinungaling ang malapit sa katotohanan
Mhm.
or katotohanang malapit sa kasinungalingan. Can you say it in English, please?
Yeah, Cynthia, can you do
Two
that?
types of white lies, right? There are two types of white lies, Kasinungalingan, anong kasinungalingan? What is the in English?
Mm,
No,
not
the
true.
no, lying,
Untruth.
Lies.
lying. But you know what?
Lies,
The
which is near to
okay, when this is how you have to really use your brain and use your coconut, okay? Like if we were living during the Spanish time or a Spanish Inquisition, and by force they tell you to embrace a god, otherwise they'll kill you, what do? Of course you're gonna, you have to preserve your life, because these are people that are, are forcing you, and you want to be truth, you have to be truthful, but you also have to preserve your life. Well, is it worth being killed? No, you have a duty to preserve the life that was given to you.
that's what
Mhm.
what
That's
Billy
in
says is a
creation.
self-defense.
Yes,
What Billy
self-defense,
Right.
says
exactly.
is
So
a self-defense.
that's why in that case, so yeah, if they're telling you to say, oh, we'll behead you if you don't embrace Christianity and this Lord your God, whatever. Oh, well, what will you do? Of course, you're gonna say, oh yeah, this and that. No,
An
because
example of white lies.
because if otherwise, yeah, well, otherwise you get your head chopped, and then what? Oh, that's the end of you. And then you have to go another incarnation. You have to be a baby again, learn to grow, blah, blah, blah. So you have
go
to.
back to husband and wife.
Mm.
I can relate that, Kuya Ray. I will give example.
Go back to
Okay.
husband and wife. White
Okay.
If
lies.
you are in the mall, I can relate to Kuya Ray. If you are in the mall with your wife and suddenly one beautiful lady passes by and your wife asks, "Is she beautiful?" Then the husband will have to calculate. I will say the truth or I will save my life. Then the husband will say, "No, you're beautiful. She's just fine. You're beautiful, even though in reality, the one that you saw coming from you is more sexier." But you have to, you have to save yourself. You just say to your wife, she's
You
very
know,
much beautiful than her.
the problem with that, you guys should be wise too, That's why the players are way ahead. That's the problem in this at this point in time, because women are second class citizens and they're not real. That's part of the problem. Men don't realize that the level of civilization is judged by the way you treat the women. Okay, in the higher times, like during the time the golden age in Egypt or even in the Philippines, women are allowed to have land and all these things. So in my opinion, if I was a guy, I'm gonna make sure my wife likes women too. So there's
Right.
They don't. There's no threat, and then it's for me that's so crazy. I mean, why? I mean, because when you really think about it, like for example, like in matriarchal societies, like elephants and stuff like that, it's the women. It's really it's geared around how do you call this, the species.
Mm.
It's not like force or stuff, but then the women help one another to, whether it's to raise the kids or the progeny. So for me, maybe I'm living ahead of the time and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
that's important to know, because and then the women, you just really have to, there's some women, they don't like, okay, there's some women that don't like feminism and stuff like that. Why? Because they like the way the system are. They all they need to do is to mind how they look, they said, but then they also objectify themselves. So then they then and you have to also understand the nature of desire, or there've been scientific studies about that, about how the male libido works as opposed to female and stuff, because it goes with also variety and stuff, but it's also up to the woman to make things exciting and fun, so that it's not boring and you're not in a rut. I mean, there's so many things to do. You just have to use creative energy and thoughts. You could play. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done, but that all depends on. Some people are lazy. They say, oh, they don't want to do anything. So it becomes, if you get what you put into it, whether anything that you do, if you put love in it and then creativity and stuff, you will be inspired. And you also don't forget, you ask. That's why you have the right way to pray. That's what Billy's even teaching us, the meditation, and also the true connection with spirit. That's why the Emmanuel prayer, that's really vital. And I like the third version because it's concise. You could memorize it, and for me, it's like perfume. It's like it's concentrated of the Nocodemian stuff. I mean, I also like the seventh version and also the third. Those are the only two that work for me out of all the different versions of Nocodemian prayer. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, that's love that you have
Yeah.
created.
Yeah.
And it's really, you create love. And of course, you have to adjust, adapt, and accept.
You know that
And
that's
that's love.
all. Sorry, what's that? Oh, my wife is awake now. Anyway, like that old Beatles song that's really nice. That I like to hear. Where they say, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. See, things like that. The balance. See, it's beautiful. That's why I like the Beatles songs too, and BTS. I'm in
Yeah,
love with those men. They're so beautiful. BTS. I'm ARMY. because they get their
Especially, yeah,
I lo-
especially the song Imagine.
yes, Imagine. Yeah, and I love him because he's Libra. I'm Libra. That's why I like that. I love John Lennon. He's my favorite Beatle.
Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
just for the, I don't know, just for the about family, about love, about calmness, about relationship. It's just similar with the business. I always think and thought and discuss about related to business because I am a businessman. If a business prospers or survive for more than 5 years, similar with husband and wife, it will prosper for a long time. It happens. It's really true. Just like the 5 word asawa. So if you go beyond that, it seems that you are just like a brother and a sister, and you will live for a longer life. That is what my think. What my what is my what on how I think of relationship and love. If between 2 3 years or 1 year, sometimes they already, even with a good wedding, after a year, then that's it. It's gone. 2 years, 3 years. But if it goes beyond 5 years and you have kids, or if you don't even have a kid, or you have some uh, normalcy, you have a commonality, you have adjusted, you have accepted with each other, then it will go beyond 5 years.
Mm.
That's what I am. That's what I am thinking about the. Now, with regards to what, just a moment. Guess what? Oh, I'm gone.
Mm.
Okay, we lost. Yeah. Guess what? Richie has said about if you're in a mall and you see a beautiful girl and you are asked by your wife. My simple answer is that, what? Where? Who? That's a simple answer for that. I did not see it. Where is it? Where is she?
Where is she?
Then your wife
It's a
will
simple answer.
look,
Richie,
listen,
right?
like, yeah. Maybe the wife will respond, wait a minute, look at me, stop, look and listen. Look at that girl.
Where? What? You?
Yeah. Okay.
White lies, of course.
Well, I think the men should also be responsible and teach their wives too, you know, because they know their bodies more than, and especially in in our culture, you know, there's still a judgment when women know about men, then they see them as like a loose caboose, you know, like where did they learn that and all that stuff. Especially if you're raised a Roman Catholic, and then you're not so they, they think virtue and you have to be a virgin when you were married, you know, this and that and that and that. So it all depends also on the husband to educate their wives so that then they could really be happy together. Then the guy doesn't have to look elsewhere to get his jollies and stuff like that, you know. And you know, even the talk about how many children to have, I think that's also an important thing to consider, because sometimes women are also put under a lot of pressure to keep, you know, having babies, and it's also not good for them to have so many. It's you have to be able, especially since our lives have been shortened, you know, so genetically. But then I think the only way we could alter that is also with our mind, because our minds are powerful thoughts. And then whether it's to heal ourselves, and then I just wanted to those of you who really also want to live well and heal yourself, you know, on Netflix, there's it's called Live to 100. So because I had this conversation with who's this? Mark Lever. Mark Lever is an American that is now a current group member. He actually, you know, he lives in Alabama, and then he what he did was that he you wouldn't think he looks like, when I first met him 10 years ago at the center during my second time there with Daki, my wife. We met him. He looks like a really like a typical how do you call this, hippie, you know. You would, but my goodness, that guy, he may look like a hippie, but he's a multimillionaire, you know, because he used to work as a, you know, that stressful
Air
job, air traffic control. And it was when 9/11 happened, I think, that he got traumatized. So he said, oh, I don't want this kind of, you know, job. And so that's what changed him. And then so he was looking for the truth, and then he went to the center, and he used to even camp out there, you know, in the rain, and very hardworking guy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful.
I'm very funny guy, you know.
Yes,
He had so
funny.
many stories.
And very humble. And oh my God, what he went through. I told him he should write a book, because he shared with us what he went through and how the Pierre and we're also helping. for
Yeah.
also helping to figure out, because he had the means to do it, especially during COVID, where to go. I mean, they helped guide him so that he was able to get to go through quarantine before they get shut down, so that he could make his way to the center. I mean, it's a journey that's really wonderful. See, and so things like that worth sharing with everybody, so that even your how you materialize things really with your thoughts. And if you put the your how do you call it, your energies there, everything else will follow.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
old saying, I said, those that worry about where their food's coming from, well, do you think creation would be more generous to, like, the what was that, the flowers in the field, or the birds, something like that? It's that you will be careful too, but you also have to make an effort to follow the impulses that are being sent to you, based on the thoughts that you're thinking about, so that all your needs will be met. Yeah, the power of your consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree. Your thoughts is really powerful. That's why it has a might. If you just simply think of a mango, a sour mango, again, this is one good example for us. If you think of a sour mango that you are eating, what happens to your salivary gland? You are just simply thinking of it, not actually eating it. And it affects your salivary gland. It means to say, it's a simple thinking, it's a simple thought that affects even everything in your body, even your antivirus. If you say that your body is healing, it will happen
Yeah. Excuse me.
automatically, even.
Yeah, excuse me. So it's 3 more minutes, and Eric, I understand, has a work and at 10 o'clock. So maybe we should
Wrap up.
wrap up, and 2 minutes more. And thank you very much, Eric, and hope in the future, if you want to join us again, just tell us, and maybe you can continue on this, the way to live. It's a very interesting and applicable,
Thank you for
a
having
fact
me.
for us to live. Yeah, thank you. So any more final words for everyone?
Oh, no, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed myself. Thanks so much. Thank you so much.
Likewise here. I love the conversation and all the sharings here. Thank you so much, everybody. That's why it's worth getting up early in the morning for me and setting my alarm, because all these Filipino groups all over the world. Oh my goodness! Except Wednesday, I don't know what happened there, but I did show up, but I guess there was a time miscalculation. So anyway, yep. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Yes.
Thank you, Piccolo. Salamat po.
Eric.
Salome po sa lahat.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Thank you po. Okay. Bye-bye. Salome.
Bye-bye.
Night po. Bye.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank
See you
you po.
around.
Bye-bye.
See you again, Eric.
See you again.
Thank you.